Hello, everybody. My name is Tyreek Edwards. I'm a writer, director, editor, and talent within the film Within and Out. And today, this is another edition of Experience the Scene. So let's get into this one's going to be different today. This one is going to be a little more critical approach to this project. I'm going to show you some of the errors and I'll actually show you some I like out of this. I will actually do that. So let's start here with a miscue, okay? An editing miscue. I was really trying to experiment with this idea of doubles and triples and quadruplets and putting myself as cloning myself within this space. I was trying my best to experiment with that. It didn't 100,000% come out as I thought it would. It was an experiment nonetheless, and I wanted to be brave in that. I wanted to try something different, and I did that. So I'm proud of myself for doing that. Execution wasn't great, but I'm a dreamer. So what I want to show you is this piece right here. Like you can clearly see that there's you can see the line here, and even on this part, like wait a minute, like this, my arm is supposed to come across, like my this is supposed to be a hand, by the way. Like I'm not drawing this well, but anyway, it's supposed to be like, where is the rest of my arm? Like, what is going on? I have no idea what's happening here because why? My arm is just in the void. So, I think that was very interesting. I didn't necessarily love that. I didn't think that was a great depiction of me trying to do this thing. But anyhow, uh, and also this was an attempt at being a silent film. I wanted to utilize music to drive the story and to allow that to push the things that were happening, to push the emotion, to push the plot of the story. Excuse me, to push the plot of the story. And this in this particular point in time, I was really fascinated by jazz. I really you like jazz. You like jazz? I need to rewatch B movie, man. But I love jazz actually, and I was in a space right here. I think where I was starting to fall into it in that way, and I wanted to utilize that as being the major touch point of what I was doing in the editing room, the editing floor. So it was an intentional decision for this to be some type of silent drama slash comedy. I was trying to merge a lot of different things together. And again, this was a really big experiment. And, spoiler alert, I don't think it worked. I don't think it worked. However, I think that my effort here is something that I admire. It's something I look back and say, I tried it, I did this thing, I wrote this thing, and I still did it. And I think to that effect, I'm grateful for myself for even taking that plunge and for even taking that kind of leap. So I want to go into this other point in time. Okay, so if we're talking about continuity here, where are these people? Like, if they were here, right? They were here in these couple seconds before, and then okay, we doing some reverse shots. So where are they here? Like, they should still be here. Those two guys should still be there. The anxiety and negative self-talk should still be there. And if it's gonna zoom in on me like that, and I'm obviously myself as the main character is being consumed by these different emotions of the anxiety, of the negative self-talk, it's almost like they should be right up here on his ears. Like both of them should be here in his head, since this is stressing him out so much because both of these negative conversions of emotions are coming towards him. So I wish I did better there. I think I tried to. I think I was actually trying to do that actually. If you see the sequence right here, I'm rapidly going back and forth on the edit, rapidly going back and forth. Uh, and mind you, this zoom is not happening in camera. This is happening in post, which is why. Wait. Because this is happening in post, that's why you get this blurriness. I'm not even gonna talk about the background right here. You can see this is not white. I didn't white balance, and I can see the flickering of the lights. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to the next part that I wanted to talk about. At this moment where there was peace, and then it wasn't. So then you got. Then at this point, I was like, okay, I should end it. I was like, wait. There's another aspect, another character I want to bring in, and that was procrastination. So that's what this guy, this character, this scene is funny to me because he's saying that he doesn't have a pen. He was saying that the store ran out of pens. Clearly BS, right? And I think this scene was funny to create. As you see, I got a roller in my hair. Um, he kind of got his gems. You know what I'm saying? He got some here. He got some here. The bonnet is on. Hair ain't done. Got the. Let's talk about the robe. The robe. So I just wanted to paint him as an unprepared, just unprepared because I was personifying what it would look like in human form, procrastination. And this scene is funny to me because this is me as the main character, just clearly. All right, let's get to this other point that I wanted to bring up. So again, I mean, this is the same error I already mentioned already, but again, this is the same thing of where clearly this background is like a different color than this is. If you notice, like this is much darker over here, much darker, and then over here, this is gonna work. I don't know if this is gonna work. Over here is clearly lighter. So again, kind of a production error that translated into the post. And in post, I should have fixed this. Definitely. You know how they say this. Fix in post. Terrible statement. Fix it in actual production if you can. Don't put that on your editor like that. All right. So, okay. So then this ends. And I do want to say I actually enjoyed this. But this is probably so. Let me get to the reason I came to this. Right. This is my favorite part out of the whole film. I know I was talking about it earlier and telling you about these mistakes, and I'm just going through it with critical eye, and just trying to explain these different decisions I was making in the editing room. This is my favorite part because this part is utilizing the continuity of the name tags. The whole reason for the whole thing was that these characters were actually feelings and emotions that we all feel at one point or another in our lives, in a day, within a week, with whatever. All these different things can come at different times. That's anxiety, that's negative self-talk, that's procrastination. All these different characters, if you will, can show up in our minds, in our bodies, in our lives. Mostly at separate times, but there are times where all those things overwhelm us. That happens. So I wanted to follow this theme of the name tag. The name tag was something that everybody had a name tag on, besides the main character myself. And so I thought about how I could keep continuity, and this was, I think, an example of that. This was name tags. I gave it a title. I'm introducing myself as who I am, negative self talk, procrastination as the names. So it's like I said, it's the role cards. Now here, so let's do this. This part's funny because I utilize, if I can get my framing right. Why did I put these all over the place like that? Okay, I'm sorry. Let me play that again because clearly it's just me. It's me being repeated throughout these. If you didn't know, I'm all of these roles, so that's not important. Anyway, so yeah, John Baptiste and Katori Walker. I took some music from them. Not took. I didn't steal anything. Okay, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Law-abiding citizen. Please know that, right? But there was some music that inspired me from John Baptiste, from Katori Walker, and I mentioned what those are in the credits of the description of the actual film. So, in a very, I still mean this today, by the way. So if they ever see this, which they probably will not, but if they ever see this, like, please, I'm heavy on this. Do not see me. Do not sue me. Please do not sue me. I don't need none of that. I don't want none of that attached to me, please. But that's if they see this and they have issue with me using everything. But I did give them credit. You know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful thing about what I did here. I gave them credit. And I didn't treat this as these were my own tracks of music. I didn't do none of that. But also me. Alright. I think that was it. Let me let this play out. So obviously, like I said, this is me. I wrote this. And that's gonna conclude this edition of Experience the Scene. Thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. And have a good rest of your day.